hospital this morning.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks for letting us know. Welcome everybody to Froggy Friday. Today is the day that we get to come together in community, in love, in unity, in spirit, in heart, and just that unification that makes us all one together. The Center for Spiritual Living Kenya, we have arrived into this moment of Froggy Friday. So I welcome you and every person that pops on as we go throughout the day. I want to start with gratitude and exciting news. If you are on our WhatsApp communication, and if you're not, please let us know and we'll add you. If you are on our WhatsApp, you found out that we won an award. We were honored yesterday. Reverend Gwen, Reverend Melody, my husband Neil Clausen, and I were asked to speak with the Rotarians yesterday. And with the assistance of Michelle and many others, we created a beautiful PowerPoint presentation. And we delivered information and messages of love, which is the same thing that the Rotarians do. They spread love out into the world. So we were honored with this beautiful pin. And we were given the Paul Harris Fellow Award. And I will read to you what it says. It says, in appreciation of tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of better understanding and friendly relations among peoples of the world. So friends, while this was, yay Mathoni, yay, everyone's clapping, thanks Philip. While this was presented to us, we accepted it on behalf of our entire community. And can I tell you, we didn't even know it was coming. We didn't even know that it was a gift to us. It is the highest honor that can be bestowed through the Rotarian organization. And it's been happening since 1905. We were blessed, we were loved, we were filled up. And we now have other people who are interested in sharing life with our sacred community. So that's you. So let's start things as we do all things. I see Kareth is here with us. We're going to start today with a treatment. We'll get Nancy to sing us into meditation or out of meditation, whatever that choice flow for her is. Then we'll sing our welcoming song, and I'm going to get to a talk. I'm really inspired today to share something with you that has been tweaked and changing my life. So Kareth, can you open us up with spiritual mind treatment and lay that foundation?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Nice to
We're
have you
happy
here,
to
Karen.
receive you. Welcome.
Nancy,
Thank-
I will be singing you into your meditation, okay? That was our agreement.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Kareth.
Okay. As I take a deep breath in, I'm saying yes to life and releasing all that is not founded in truth. Knowing that the one divine mind is absolutely clear and knows no opposites. And so as we give of ourselves, we receive in ways that nourish our hearts and our minds. We are collectively saying yes to who we authentically are. And so we open our hearts to the flow of love, the ever flow of love, knowing that we are always anchored in truth, the truth that has power to transform. And as I release my word into law, I am grateful for the freedom to make choices that allow us to live a life that we love. And so I let go and let God. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know.
And as we remain in this space of sacredness, we take a deep breath. And today, this morning, this evening, I'm going to take us through a meditation to acknowledge our lives, this beautiful life that we have. So just relax and go inwards. And take a deep breath. And release. This is my life. This is my sacred life. All that I have ever been is God. All that I am is God. And all that I will ever be is God. And I am new and renewed in this knowledge. I am light. I am love. And I embrace the beauty of my life. So just breathe in and stay there. This is my life. This is God's life. This is my life. And I am open to the opportunities that are presented each day. This is my life. And I am grateful for the love of God. This is my life, and I let it shine. This is my life, and all that I am is God. Take another deep breath and gently come back to this space, to this service. Namaste.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you.
Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy. I'm in a Zen zone. Thank you,
Yeah.
Gwen. Oh my gosh.
I think as we come out of that mellowness, let's sing our together song and one people. And
I love when she said, I am God. So let's sing it just like Gwen said. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one, Reverend Gwen.
we are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one.
We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. Well, we are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Say that. When it's all said and done, we are one. Yeah, we are one. Oh my goodness. Listen, there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about before I begin talking to you about what I want to talk to you about. We are in the month of June, and this kicks off our new Froggy Friday schedule. Don't worry about changing anything. It'll all flow easily and effortlessly. Froggy Friday from this week forward will be every second and fourth Friday of the month. That's that. Second and fourth Friday of the month. You just have to remember it. It's so easy to do. Also, if you are not a member or have not accepted an invite to our Facebook page, please do check out CSL Kenya Facebook page, because this Sunday, for the next 4 Sundays, Reverend Gwen and I will be honoring Reverend Connie. This is her transition month. She passed away in 2020 on June 30th. And we want you to read and share the love and Connieisms and the memories and the stories that we have of our beautiful mentor and sister Connie. And also, please go and share all of the posts for the conference on Facebook. Okay, that's the housekeeping until I think of more. I want you to give me 20 minutes of your time this morning. I am one of your spiritual leaders, along with Reverend Gwen Smith. And I want you to know how human we are in life, in this thing called life. Just like Nancy said, this life is God's life. And we are oh so human. I'll speak for myself, I have had challenges with health in these last several weeks with my bronchitis and lungs. I've had challenges with helping a family member as they struggle through depression. I have lost a nephew last month as a result of that, 23-year-old. There's stuff going on. There's financial pressure in the world. There's pressure, health pressure, and we have each other. I want you to know that I took a program to figure out how I can help people, which I do every day. I support people. I wanted to support in a deeper, more profound way, and I wanted to learn how I can also receive. Reverend Melody spoke last week in Kelowna about self-care, and it was like a big aha moment again of self-care, self-love. So today I'm going to share about overcoming fear, mind games. I'm just going to share my screen so you can see what my talk title is today, and embracing that fear and that anxiety as we move forward. I want you to be comfortable knowing I'm going to be about 20 minutes today sharing with you, so you can settle in, and we will have Q&A afterwards, and we can talk about the understanding of fear and anxiety, getting to know your fear and anxiety, identifying your triggers, letting go of guilt, nurturing our self-worth, letting go of shame, letting go of grief, connecting with our inner truth, and connecting with Source. So this is a little reading I want to read to you. Does fear rule you? How much of your brilliant inner light, bright enough to light up 1,000 skies, is dimmed by fear? How many times has fear pinned you down when all you wanted to do was fly? How many potential soulmates has fear stolen from you? How many life-changing opportunities? How many breathtaking adventures? How many in the past? How many more in the future? Fear lies to you. Fear tells you to stay put because growing upwards and outwards is dangerous. Fear convinces you that failure is worse than doing nothing at all. Fear wants you to forget that life is beautiful, irreversible, and short. But in the face of this truth, have you ever wondered, is there really anything worth fearing? Fear loves you, but not in a healthy way. Fear wants to smother you. Fear wants to stay in your heart forever and hold you in the dark where nobody can see you. And yet fear can never truly succeed, because the reality is fear fears you. Your boundless potential strikes fear into fear's heart. Fear is terrified by the thought of you showing up, stepping up, growing up for your passions, for your career, for your loved ones, for yourself. Your unquenchable dreams defy fear. Your unique gifts defy fear. Your very existence defies fear. Fear has every reason to fear you. And the day that we learn to feel that fear and do it, what we need to do anyway, that's when our life changes, friends. So here's what I want to talk to you about. Fear is a very powerful emotion, yes? And when activated, can have a deep and negative effect on our mind, our body, and our spirit. I know we know this. It's what we teach. Unfortunately, though, most people hide. We hide our fears and our struggle, which ultimately keeps us from evolving into our greater self and from healing and using those experiences to grow from what's happened in the past. But today I say, oh no, not you, not us, not today. We've decided to face our fears. And friends, this takes courage. And the fact that you're here today when I posted what this title was on WhatsApp, That's already a huge accomplishment. So give yourself a pat on the back for this continued journey. If you're continuing to journey, or the beginning of this healing journey, if you're in the beginning, and start to get excited and move from this place of love and courage and intuition. So today I want us to better understand fear and anxiety and why it shows up and how to use it as a catalyst for growth. And I want to give holistic exercises that are going to help us release us in any situation. It's important to know that fear and anxiety can affect all of us every now and then, even when we know this teaching. And yet, if you feel anxious all the time for several weeks, I'm speaking for myself, it feels like your fears can take over your life. Has anybody ever felt that way besides me? Yeah, thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Philip. Thank you for your transparency. I'm so grateful for that. Understanding fear and anxiety, they sometimes can occur together. They're not quite the same. Fear relates to a real or known threat, when anxiety is an effect from a thought of thinking that something could go wrong in the future. Almost all of us are wired to think that fear and anxiety are enemies, but they're actually powerful forces that can show up to warn us if something is not quite right. And if we're able to shift our perspective and understand what fear is trying to tell you, we can discover that it can be our greatest teacher. And when fear shows up, it can act like an alert message that something needs to change, instead of that, oh my gosh, hang on, something really, really horrible is happening. Fear can show up to repress and identify a repressed feeling or something that needs to be released. They are both, anxiety and fear, natural human states, and a vital part of our lives. And we all experience them from time to time. In fact, fear can actually help us identify and respond to that fight or flight. Have you heard of that fight or flight mode? You're either going to stand and fight, or you're going to run as fast as you can. And both can motivate us to help dealing with the difficult challenges with the right amount of energy that we need. We can act more creatively if we're aware of this circumstance. So there's another side to it. Persistent fear can cause real emotional distress, and it can lead to harmful thoughts, physical illness, developing anxiety disorders such as panic attacks, obsessive behaviors, phobias. And fear at this level can truly, I've learned by supporting family and friends, a distressing and debilitating influence on their lives, on our lives. Then it ripples into those people who love them, impacting both our physical and our mental health. This is why it's crucial, friends, that we face it, because fear will not go away, even if we try our hardest to ignore it. The more we resist it, the more it may persist. So here's what I want you to do. You don't need to do it right now. Write down all your fears. This could be a fear of change, a fear of spiders, a fear of rejection, a fear of success, whatever those are that are valid for you. And once you've completed that list, I want you to restate each fear. Like, I want to start my own business, and I scare myself. I want to start blank, and I scare myself by imagining blank, that I may go bankrupt. I want to imagine talking to a friend about a relationship, but I scare myself by imagining that if they knew how I really felt, it would scare them and my friendship with them would be over. Instead of scaring myself by imagining that I may go bankrupt, or that a friend won't want me, or that I will lose my savings, try focusing on working that thought process of whatever it's going to take to succeed. and strengthen that relationship. And you might see that transformation of fear turn into a positive statement. And then add this affirmation. I love the affirmations that Nancy did in her meditation today. I am God, God in action. I choose to fulfill my mind and fill my mind with positive, nurturing, and healing thoughts. When we get to know ourselves, we get to know our anxiety and our fears. And we feel that we begin to question, why do I feel anxious even when I'm not in real danger? Well, our lives might not even, we're just watching TV, or we're reading a book, or we're listening to somebody else's story, or as you're listening to me today, you might be thinking, oh, I feel this, or I'm triggering this. Well, back in the day, it was saber-toothed tigers. That's not the case anymore, but our minds and our bodies still work in the same way as our early ancestors. And when we have those same reactions to our modern worries, like, how am I going to pay this bill? Why isn't my marriage working? That social situation isn't working. That person's judging me. What are they thinking? Whatever that problem is, and that list can go on, we can't turn away from it or physically attack these problems. These physical feelings of fear can be scary in themselves, especially with what we're experiencing. And if you don't understand, or if they seem out of proportion to the situation, what tends to happen is, instead of alerting us to danger or preparing us to respond to it, our fear and our anxiety can kick in for any perceived threat, which could be imaginary or small or huge. But if we always avoid those situations that scare us, we're going to stop doing the things that we actually want to do. And when this happens, we're going to miss out on the opportunities to learn more about ourselves, to overcome that fear. Anxiety problems tend to increase if we get into this cycle. So, which is why exposing yourself to the fears can be actually an effective way of dealing with it. Write it down in diary. Listen to your body when your body's telling you something. And when you identify your triggers, understanding your triggers is an important way of this journey of healing. The triggers can be external, internal, and sometimes it can just be that cycle. When we recognize our emotions, feeling down, fear of worry, mental images, I am brutal on myself for remembering something that has happened, interactions or a performance, and I used to beat myself up. I don't anymore, but I can, in this second, if I allow myself, go back to that fear that I had when I made a mistake, a perceived mistake, when I did something wrong, if I hurt somebody, if I did something not to my best, allowing those internal triggers to be aware of them and just be in the presence. Just be in that physical setting of knowing that you're okay, that you're all right, that you've got this covered. When we recognize that we're in anxiety-related thoughts or feelings or behavior, it can be really helpful to ask ourselves questions like, what are other ways of looking at this situation, just like I gave you? Am I looking at the whole picture? What might be a more helpful way of picturing the situation? What negative thoughts am I using right now? Is this even true? I have to ask myself, is this real, or am I imagining that? Have any of you ever imagined something that you are making up that maybe happened in the past, but it's not even happening now? Have complete experiences. Ask yourself, and then give yourself that permission. What else might I be learning in this moment about my anxiety? What is it really trying to tell me? And then be very aware, this too shall pass. It's a normal body reaction to be in fight or flight. It's a normal human body reaction. But when you know that this will pass, that feeling will pass, that it's the feeling, that it's not you, it allows you to let go. One of the main causes of fear, I've learned this and I'm remembering it as I'm going. One of the main causes of fear is guilt. Guilt is the emotional and cognitive state that we experience when we feel that we've done something wrong, that we may have violated our moral code or our expectations of ourselves or others, or we think that something's wrong, that it's not even the case. We've judged ourselves. And because it's so hard to express guilt, it's not like anger, where you can punch pillows or internalize emotion. It's otherwise known, guilt is otherwise known and referred to, I found this beautiful, as a bothered conscience. Guilt sinks deep into our subconscious and manifests those anxious thoughts. It's like our inner critic that's on steroids. And fear, being unworthy because we have done something wrong, we fear the problem, and we get back to our children, our life when we were children, or watching our children. We're made to feel guilty. We absorb other people's problems as our own fault. When we get a handle on that, we can get on top of guilt, and we can realize and know that we bring guilt from our childhood. Guilt comes from challenging events, death of a loved one, something running away, an animal, or even a child running away, things that are totally out of our control. And when we have guilt that is authentic by our own wrongdoings, that happened over many, many years of our life, this is creating the fear. And it blocks, guilt can block that vital flow of life and productivity and freedom into our life. Nurturing ourselves is vital in this. When we're feeling drained, I know a lot of us in this room have felt this or are feeling this now, stressed, anxious. When we're in those moments, how do we care for ourselves when we're caring for others? Or if we don't care at all, how do we care for ourselves? These are the true feelings of power that we have to step forward into. And if you're like most people, if you're like me, then you probably try to cure the negative emotions with things like, I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to get my hair done. Those are all good self-worth things too. But it's sweeping the emotion under the carpet, which is okay until you can cope, until you can get that done. So it's important to tackle the root cause of our fear and our stress and make sure you're not going for the quick fix to mask, rather to get into that authentic regiment of self-care, because we are worthy of all that the universe has to offer. And when we can step into that place, we can let go of the shame. Shame is worse than guilt, in my opinion. Shame is that emotion when you want to tuck yourself into that tight little fetal position ball, roll into a dark corner, and disappear. Friends, we can talk about this in this community together. If you were with me for 5 minutes in Kenya, you know that we can be transparent and we can feel worthiness of being together and share these tough conversations. That's why we're talking about it today. If you've ever had that unworthiness, that unlovable, or felt like an outcast, shame is a close cousin to guilt, but it's a deeper connection to your self-worth. It's enough that shame can even make you question your own existence. This is the breeding zone for fear and anxiety. I'm walking this walk with you today. We're all here together. As shame and vulnerability, do you know the author Brene Brown? She says the difference between shame and guilt is the difference between I am bad and I did something bad. No one is exempt from feelings of shame. Even though it can teach us valuable lessons, it can also destroy our spirits, break us down, especially when we don't know our own value, or we forget, or we're unable to present our core identity with confidence and strength. Recovering from shame and rebuilding self-esteem and self-love takes time and patience, but I'm here to testify. I'm here to tell you it can be done. And we're in a safe environment today. That's what we're doing, is in this community, we create a safe environment to process this shame, this anxiety, this fear, this self-worth. And there may still be people in your life who are trying to enforce that shame on you. It might be parents, it might be spouses, it might be siblings who are trying to belittle or hurt you. And sometimes that shame can lead us to relationships to repeat dynamics that we experienced in our childhood. Our partners, our spouses, our friends, consciously or unconsciously reinforce our feelings of shame if we let them. Understand we have a choice to be in relationships that are emotionally healthy. And we can avoid that immature, that dysfunction that we may in the past have chosen to surround ourselves with. But choose, I want to invite you to choose loving relationships today instead. If you're in a relationship with someone who triggers your shame, reach out to me. Reach out to Reverend Gwen. Reach out to some of our practitioners. We are here to help you create those boundaries to protect yourselves. Being devoted to yourself and expressing your feelings to people is a wonderful route to healing. I am not ashamed, but I have felt shame, but I am no longer ashamed. Do you see? This is a life journey. Yes, I'm your spiritual leader. Yes, Reverend Gwen is your spiritual leader. Yes, you are surrounded by teachers and mutual lovers of love, but we go through it with you. We go through it because we are human. But what's great and grand is we have broken the vicious cycle and we reach out for help. We choose a person that we can trust, that has positive qualities that we want to emanate, and we say, we are God in action. The presence of caring in me recognizes the presence of caring in you. When Nancy says namaste, that's namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. And use that affirmation, I am enough. When we let go of the grief, when we let go of the biggest fears in our life, loss, heartache, grief, we fear not being able to handle the pain, and we fear being abandoned and left alone to deal with life, and we fear that no one will love us. If we have been hurt by love before, you know the pain and grief I'm talking about. It is one of the deepest emotions that we can experience, and it will take you to the depths of your soul. And because grief is an effect of love, we often choose to close our hearts to avoid getting hurt and losing that loved one. Yeah? Are you with me? Thank you. When we shut down in an attempt to protect ourselves and we block that energy from flowing, this causes more fear. And that fear also blocks the attraction of flow of other people and other experiences in your life. Stay open. And when we think of grief, we usually think of sadness from losing a loved one. Yet we can experience this sadness with the loss of a job, with the loss of identity, forgetting who we are if we lose our home. Grief is common, but often underexpressed because it is an emotion that is part of the most change that happens in our life, but it should be honored. And even though grief is natural, even though it's a healthy response to any type of loss in your life, the emotions that accompany grief are often unexpected, overwhelming, and confusing. And they can disrupt the physical and spiritual health of our lives. And there's no right or wrong ways to grieve. I always say there's just right or left. There are healthy ways to cope with pain, and there are different ways of allowing yourself to get and let through and get to the past and heal. Friends, two of the healthiest ways to survive the grieving process is to learn what it means to let go of a loved one and feel compassion. When I lost my nephew last month, it was hard. But the contrast to grief is letting go and accepting loss, surrendering, and moving into a new season of life, your life, our life. Letting go is releasing your attachment to someone or something in your past. It doesn't mean you forget. You let go. And I deeply believe that compassion is the healing antidote for grief. And while there's no timeline on how long a person should grieve, the kind of loss or heartache that we can begin to allow, just let comfort in, let others in. Compassion is best coupled with action. And in fact, compassion is care in action. So let's do that self-love to honor together. Let's do it together. And let's agree to be gentle with ourselves as we heal, to connect with our inner truth, to connect with that source, allowing our soul to release the suffering, to allow that fear to just be an energetic that we can control. And we trust that the flow of life comes and the flow of life connects. And our flow of life is God, the universe, our higher power. And we are deserving of it. We are worthy of it. And if we're willing, we are the light. We are the love. And as Nancy said today, we are the divine. Thank you.
Yay.
I'm healed today.
Let's say the spirit fingers. This is a beautiful, beautiful talk and a reminder that we start here first so that we can be out there in a better way. Thank you, Reverend Barb. That was beautiful and inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you,
Does
Gwen.
anybody have any questions? Any comments? And yes, James, it will be up for recording.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob, for the talk today. And when you were talking about fearing moving on with our goals and ideas, I was reminded of a very good topic that Carol loves, what if up. So instead of what if downing, we what if up. And yeah, thank you for the talk. And I have to leave now because there's somewhere I'm being expected. I'm leading the chain of peace meditation for Ukraine today. So thank you very much.
Thank you for doing both. Thank you for doing both, Philip. Bless you. Go shine your light. Bless you.
Bye. Let me know how it goes.
Are there any other questions that anybody has today? James.
Yeah, mine is rather just but a comment, because the question of fear, I've always stated that in fact the only thing to fear is fear. But now today, from Reverend Barb's talks, I've realized how much fear ought to be embraced, and how much the idea of fearing fear and assuming fear is not there, in fact, is not actually the case. It is a big aha to me that we cannot run away from fear, but we should always find out what is it that is bringing fear, and how do we turn that fear into something positive, into an advantage to show us a direction to take, or to show us a step actually to move to. And I think that one is so huge and aha to me in this talk. I'm just so grateful.
Oh, thank you, James. Thank you for receiving us today. Beautiful aha moment. I love it. Does anybody else have an aha moment?
You know, when you have an aha moment, you put the coins in the jar, even at Froggy Friday.
Sorry, Pat, go ahead.
I was just going to say that there were so many layers in all of the things that you were saying. But for me, what I like is how this spiritual journey is also a journey of self-discovery, a journey of awareness. It's not, there's just so much to it. And what I've noticed for myself is that when I'm having, anxiety or fear or shame or guilt, or maybe even some love and some joy, we'll throw those ones in too, that the people that I feel the most confident in opening myself up to are people that are in this room.
Yeah.
Or people that are in this teaching, because they're what they're going to say back to me is going to be so much different than what perhaps my sister might say, or what my even what a counselor might say, or what somebody that I'm sitting around playing cards. Oh, I'm not going to be vulnerable playing cards usually, but the response that I get from people that understand the journey of self-awareness and understand the spiritual journey and have a foundation in science of mind or new thought, it's just so much different. I don't know if I'm describing that very
No,
well.
you are. I'm with you.
I see
We're
some
a
nodding
spiritual
heads.
family.
Yeah, when you were talking earlier about, when we get those thoughts, like what do we do with them? I was introduced to Byron Katie like many years ago. And so I put in the chat, she has these things to ask yourself, when you're having a stressful thought, like, is it true? Is what I'm thinking really true?
Yeah.
And can I know 100% for sure that it's true? Right? And how am I feeling, what I'm believing, whatever that thought is, and how might my life be if I was having a different thought? And I get those different thoughts from people in this room. Right? I get those different thoughts from people in this room. So yeah, I really appreciated a lot of points that you made. And I love how it all ties together. And I'm just going to do a plug for the 15 conscious commitments to leadership, because there were so many layers in what you were saying. I could see how understanding those commitments to conscious leadership and being above the line and below the line in so many different aspects of our life, that it all ties in together. And yeah.
Always does.
Thank you so much. And I'm so grateful for your input, Pat, and your wisdom too in the sharing. And Jerry, I saw what you posted. Thank you. I appreciate that too.
When the
It's a
teacher is,
beautiful
or the
lesson.
student is ready, the teacher shows up, right?
It's always true. It's always true. And what I want to do is be like I was with, like I said, if you spent 5 minutes with me in Kenya, I'm transparent and I'm open and I'm honest. And if you feel like, oh, they have no problems, that life is great. And I will never deny that. The life that I have is a blessing. And just like Nancy said, that life is God's life. I'll stay it all day today. But the humanness comes up. And when we have and we are prepared, which is what this is for, our classes are for, this is what Froggy Friday's for, this is what our conference is for. When we're prepared and those moments come up, let me tell you how I handle things very differently now. Even though I'm affected, I'm not infected by it. Do you understand? And I do that by what Reverend Pat just said. I reach out to Gwen. I have other people in my life, and I reach out to people in different areas of the world, in different work in what they do, because I don't know it all. And I want you to know, because I don't know it all, when I learn stuff, and when I learn things, I want to share it with you. I am human, and I am blessed, and I am grateful to be trusting, like Pat just said, to share my highs, my mediums, and my lows with you. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. This too is good. This too is God.
James.
Yeah, in fact, I don't stop getting more and more ahas when you state that, okay, we are humans, and therefore we have these anxieties and fears. But these fears and anxieties which we receive or which we experience as humans are God's experiences through us, which in fact makes it even more marvelous, more beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so yeah, that's what in fact I'm seeing.
And so where I'm at these days is realizing what a privilege it is to have my life, because this life is God's life, demonstrating as me, expressing in all ways as me. And if I believe what I believe about God and I love God and it's not outside of me, it's within me, well, I'm gonna get on my horse and I'm gonna ride this life. I'm coming in sliding, baby. I'm doing it all.
A life well lived. A life
Thank
well lived.
you. Thank
I'd like
you.
to give Mathani and Nancy just a minute to briefly explain what is happening on the, what is it, the date? I had it here. 16th of June, where Nancy is the guest. Mathani, can you let us know what's going on? And maybe some of our community would be interested in knowing. Thanks, Sammy. It's nice that you came.
Thanks. So good to see you. Thank you for the love.
Right. I'm in a group of healers that practice natural healing. We talk about using nature's gifts for wellness and for healing. So every month we have a seminar every third Friday of the month in the afternoon between 1:30 and 4 o'clock. And this particular group seems to like the speakers that are coming from CSL. We had Paul in the month of, I think the month of March, talking about the healing power of the mind, and they really liked what he had to share. So when we sat in our board meeting 2 weeks ago, and the topic came up, they asked Mudhoni, can you get somebody, can you get Paul or somebody like Paul? And I said, I'm going to ask. And when we asked Nancy, she graciously said yes. And I'm looking forward to how that is going to unfold.
Oh,
Yeah.
what
Beautiful.
a beautiful opportunity you've created.
Yeah, in
You've
fact, our
created your life.
chairman was given the book, the little book by Ernest Holmes by Paul, and he's gobbled it all up. He said, I've read it, and I think he wants more.
Well, invite him to the conference.
Yes.
So that is on June 16th from 1:30 to 4:30, and it's our very own Nancy Nuki.
Yeah.
So
Bravo.
go on out and support your beautiful practitioner office lady and the hub of our CSL Kenya. Right, Nancy?
Thank you, Flo, for the message. I'm so grateful to walk this walk with all of you. Bless you. Now, if you, we have a benediction and we have some affirmations that we share. In order to keep our center alive, we operate solely off of your love offerings and donations. This is our North Americans, and I'm speaking to our Kenyan family. So we will, as you donate at cslkenya.org, or you contact Nancy via M-Pesa, she will support you in receiving your funding, your donation. So I will say this offertory, and then you will repeat it after me if you don't mind. So unmute, everybody unmute, and I will say, and you will repeat. I am filled with the energy of abundance.
I am filled with the energy of abundance.
I am willing to share my financial
with
goods.
the energy.
I am willing to share
with
my financial good
financial
with my spiritual community.
Yes,
And Nancy
spiritual
has
God.
posted the M-Pesa number in the messages.
Thank you, Nancy, for being on top of that. Now, is there anybody that would like a meeting, a 2-minute miracle with a practitioner, and we can place you into rooms for a private session?
Just put up your hand.
Just put up your hand, your virtual hand or your real hand, and we'll make sure that we get you into a room. I see James, I see Muthoni, Nancy.
and flow.
Nancy, do you want treatment, or you're one of the practitioners for giving treatment today?
I want treatment today.
Okay.
So we have
We have
Karen.
Paul and Kareth, and Karen, are you willing to do treatment?
Yes.
And Karen.
Okay, we need one more then, right?
We need one more, yeah.
Okay, I can do it.
Okay, Gwen.
And for the rest of you, go forth and shine the love and light that you
We're
are.
doing the benediction, the benediction.
Yes, the benediction.
Oh, Kareth has to leave, so we need
Okay.
one more.
We'll
Who is giving the benediction? Let's give the benediction.
I am.
Ah,
Oh.
there you are. I thought it was you, Paul. Okay, super. We'll figure this out.
As we come to the end of this wonderful and uplifting service, I take this moment to appreciate and be thankful for everything that has transpired. I'm grateful for this teaching. I'm grateful for the sharing. I'm grateful for each and every one of us. And as we part and we go in our different ways, I know that we are divinely guarded and guided, and ever at peace, expressing this one God whom we are. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you,
That's
everyone. Have the most beautiful sleep and evening.
Thanks for
Allowing
joining.
these
Love
words
you,
and this time
Jerry.
together. Just join in.
Go
Thank
forth
you.
and shine the love and light that you are, everyone.
Oh. Everybody's leaving here.
They must be going into their rooms.
Well, no, because they can't go if I haven't assigned them a room.
Where did Gwen go?
She must have gone into her room, but I just sent somebody in there with her. Nancy, you should have got an invitation to go to room 2. Yeah, she's gone in with Thony. And James.
Am
you
I
want
supposed to go into a room?
You can. You want to go with James?
Okay.
Whoops. Oh, no, it won't let me do it. Hang on a second here. I think it won't let me because you're a host.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
Can he wait?
Yeah, it won't let me put you there.
Do you want to do a treatment for him and I'll sign off? I'll make you host and I'll sign off. You can do a treatment for him.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll sign off. Love you, James. I love you, Pat. Okay.
Did you give us a time limit? You're muted.